Hey everyone, Shadowrock's here, and today I have a self-help video for you. Now, I'm telling you, I'm going to try and keep this up every Monday. I know we had a rough week last week, all of us together here as a team, so we're going to try and bring it back for a little bit. So let's get right into it. I want to talk about rage, and I don't want to talk about it as just like the standard, oh, that person gets mad. And I don't also want to talk about how it's not like the Hulk, people just going into blind fury, but kind of actually. So it is called a fury or frenzy often. Rage is a feeling of intense, violent, or growing anger, and it's sometimes associated with the fight or flight response. So, when you're entering a battle, that moment where you can choose to run away or to fight, or even talk your way out of it. A lot of people think that talking your way out of it, actually, that'd be a good thought experiment. To you, what is talking your way out of it? What is reasoning with the person in an argument? Is that fighting, or is it fleeing from a fist fight? I like to think that it might be fighting because it's still expressing your opinion. It's just not physical. So, I don't know. Take that into account. That's a cool thing to think about, actually. So this rage is often activated in response to an external cue, so anything that negatively affects a person, might make them cranky or grumpy. The phrase thrown into a fit of rage expresses the immediate nature of rage that occurs before deliberation. If left unchecked, rage may lead to violence. Depression and anxiety lead to an increased susceptibility to rage, and there are modern treatments for this emotional pattern. Now, I know that was a direct quote, I just kind of read that off, but I think that is well worded. And it kind of leads me into the Canon Bard theory. As I said just a second ago, it's kind of like rage is before deliberation. But Canon Bard holds that a stimulus causes both the reaction and emotion at once. Thus, a person would not first become enraged and then act, but do so simultaneously. I think that's really interesting because I had anger problems growing up. I think we all did. I know rage is just, it's in all of us. We all have it. It's just expressed differently at different times and at different levels, we'll say. So, yeah, that happened. And I like to think back on it. I'm wondering if it did occur simultaneously or if I got mad and then did something, but it happens so fast, it happens all at once. Let me just talk a little bit about, I don't really care about the meaning of the word, it's Latin, so, or Old French even, so, which comes from Latin, so it's the same thing. Which is, what was the word? Rabia, yes, rabia, R-A-B-I-A, so that is cool. That it's old. Go figure. I want to throw up some pictures right here, actually. Don't let me forget. I want to throw up some pictures of rage being expressed in art. I've got one from the 14th century, which I'll throw up now, and one from 1717, which is the angel with temperance and humility virtues versus the devil with rage and anger sins. So that's just kind of interesting that they kind of personified this a long time ago. It's been around the block, it's not like people just started getting mad or anything. But let me talk a little bit about the symptoms and effects. So rage can sometimes lead to a state of mind where the individual experiencing it believes and often is capable of doing things that normally seem physically impossible. Those experiencing rage usually feel the effects of high adrenaline levels in the body. This increase in adrenal output raises the physical strength and endurance levels of the person and sharpens their senses. It dulls the sensation of pain, of course, because adrenaline. Temporal perspective is also affected. People in rage have described experiencing events in slow motion. Now, this isn't necessarily because your heart's racing or whatever people think, nowadays, like, oh, the adrenaline's pumping, so you're moving faster or time's just going slower. It's actually because you can perceive each moment. The high levels of adrenaline increases your ability to recall down very fine the details that are going on. So humans gauge time based on the amount of things they can remember. So since you can remember more things, the time went by slower. It took a longer time for you. High adrenaline events such as those experienced during periods of rage, thus will seem to unfold more slowly. Now, a person in a state of rage may lose much of his or her capacity for rational thought and reasoning, and may act usually violently on his or her impulses to the point that they may attack until they themselves have been incapacitated or their source of rage has been destroyed. That seems a little intense, I know, I'm sorry, but this is such good wording. I'm really liking this. So I don't know how many shows you have watched where people just get mad and they're easily tricked. You know, you'll see the guy screaming and running at the hero, and the hero will just jump over them or jump around them. But that's kind of, in a sense, sure. They can get that tunnel vision, people in rage, and they can focus on one thing, and they get stupid, and they think in irrational thoughts. And I don't know, because I think that this is different for different people. This is just some symptoms. They don't all have to occur. So some people can still think pretty rationally and still be, you know, I don't know. Maybe their brain just functions higher and they don't do as much. And I guess swapping it out? Yeah, you're swapping it out. Swapping the physical aggression for mental aggression, which could happen. I don't know. I like to think that I think pretty nicely or quickly and swiftly whenever I'm mad, but I haven't been mad in a long time. But a person in rage will have an increased heart rate and may even hyperventilate, and their hearing may be muffled, their vision may become rose-tinted or seeing red. You know, I don't know if you've heard that before, but they often will just focus on that one source of anger. But large amounts of the adrenaline and oxygen in the bloodstream may cause the person's extremities to shake. So if you see someone shaking, they could be pretty mad. It's a pretty solid identifier right there. Psychiatrists consider rage to be at one end of the spectrum of anger and annoyance to be the other side. So if you think about it, I mean, anger, if you're already angry, you're either annoyed on one side. That kind of makes sense that is the bare minimum of anger. And or you're in rage. You are just all out, just bloodthirsty and going at it. Rage occurs when, I'm going to say this word, and I don't think I have it down anymore. Oxytocin. Oxytocin. There we go. Why not? Oxytocin. There we go. Yes, that's what it is. Alright, sorry. Man, I know, that just ruined my credibility. Rage occurs when oxytocin. There we are. Vasopressin and corticotropin releasing hormones are rapidly released from the hypothalamus. This results in the pituitary gland producing and releasing large amounts of adrenocorticotropic hormones. Yes, which causes the adrenal cortex to release corticosteroids. This chain reaction occurs when faced with a threatening situation. So for those biochemical neuroscientists out there, I just figured I'd throw that in there. Thought that was interesting. I know I butchered most of the words, trying to go fast here, taking up a lot of your time. I do want to talk about how research suggests that individuals with rage are more susceptible to having feelings of depression and anxiety, especially if they experience rage on a frequent basis. So health complication, I can't speak today, can become much worse if an individual represses feelings of rage. So let it out. It can lead to physical ailments too, so just don't keep it inside of you. You're just going to hurt yourself in more ways than one. Cardiac stress and hypertension are other health complications that can occur when rage is experienced on a regular basis. So just honestly, there are therapies for rage, and I know there's a negative connotation in the world right now for, oh, he went to anger management. It's fine. I mean, it takes so much strength for you as a person to recognize that you have a problem or that you're not happy with yourself in some way and fix it. It's just like if, you wanted to lose weight or get fit. It's the same thing. You recognize something that you want to change about yourself and you just do it. Just commit to that. So as far as therapy, there's cognitive therapy techniques. Role-playing, personal study are two main techniques used to aid individuals with rage. Role-playing is usually like you anger someone to the point of rage and then show them how to control it. And then there's multimodal cognitive therapy which is used to help individuals cope with anger. It teaches relaxation techniques, problem-solving skills, and techniques on response disruption. So that's pretty good for people who are stressed out. You can also meditate. Meditation is a great way to just decrease stress and decrease the amounts of rage. So I don't really want to get into the psychology as far as self-esteem, narcissism, and everything. So I'm going to leave that to you for your own reading. And don't get mad. Hey, get Glad. All right. So, product. I'm not sponsored by Glad. All right. If you like this commentary, friends, sorry, it's so off track right now. It's been a weird week. Don't forget to like, favorite, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you this week. Shadow Rockets out.